Welcome to our mini recap of Sister Wives, Season 1, Episode 7, 4 Wives and Counting. It's the big wedding.
Or the beginning of the end.
And this is the last time that we hear Cody say, hey, get all of my kids in the photo, and to be referring to anyone other than Robin's. I kid, we're going to track this and see how often it occurs, but I figure it's not going to be long until my kids just mean Solinari and the others. The address, the big drama of the whole wedding is that the address is wrong. So Cody they sent the wrong address out on all of their announcements. So they've got to find this non-existent address, put a thing out so people, if they drive there, can find it. It's like in between two houses.
I mean, between five heads, somebody should have caught that nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, and then all of the other wives and all the kids are at the place getting done up, and then Robin's at home alone, and she's like, why am I alone? And they're like, you just had to ask. And she's like, oh. And
you're dumb.
Then they go to the wedding. Probably the only part that I would be interested in was to know what a wedding looks like for polygamists, but they don't tell us that. They just say it's beautiful.
It's beautiful and full of love.
And then they skip right to the reception, where Robin changes out of her wedding dress into another plain brown dress. They take a bunch of pictures, then she changes back into her wedding dress for the rest of the event. They give her a clotter ring. They hand her something like, we got you something. Clearly a ring box. She's like, oh, and then she opens up and she bursts into tears.
More fake crying.
And you just kind of go, like, I don't know. I feel like if you were genuinely overcome with emotions at the gift, that would have started when you saw that it was a gift with a ring box. But instead they're like, it's a clotter ring. They all wear clotter rings. Oh, I'm just so sad. And then this whole big thing about how she talks about how, I don't know how I did this backwards. I did this in the wrong direction. But my notes. He says goodbye to all of his wives. Him and Mary I'm not even buying the googly eyes. He's like looking at her, and their child is like right here. And they're like staring at each other, and she's like, I want to say something, but I probably shouldn't. I wish it was my wedding night. And you're a little bit like, okay.
I barfed in my mouth a little.
I don't believe it. They're all lovey-dovey, but he walks each wife out, and then this whole big thing about how, like, this is Robin, I saw Mary and Cody leaving, and so I tried to stay out of the way, and they called me over. And then they show the footage, and she's like right in the middle of their path, just standing there, and I'm like, that doesn't really look like you tried so hard to get out of their way. And then she's like, it just means so much. And then they're all like, this is the end of one chapter and the beginning of a beautiful new chapter. And we're just like, okay, this is really hard to watch. And
We've seen how it ends.
You know, we saw how this ends. And between now and then, it's not good.